We are good.
Okay, heary, the protection of policy meeting for September 9th, thank you, 2019 is hereby in session. It's 5:30. Roll call, Alder Stevens.
Here.
Alder Vanderleest.
Here.
Alder Steuer.
Here.
And Alder Scannell is also present. So I will take motion to approve our agenda.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alder Vanderleest, second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. I'll take a motion to approve our minutes from the August 12th, 2019 Protection and Policy meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Alder Steuer, second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have our minutes approved from our last meeting. On to regular business. Okay. Item number 1, consideration with possible action on a request by Brewskis on Broadway at 1100 South Broadway to temporarily extend their licensed premises to their parking lot on September 26, 2019 for an event, subject to complaint. The Protection and Policy Committee has been granted final approving authority on liquor license related to matters until October 1st, 2019. So I should say, before I go any further, normally anything that happens here is just a recommendation to the council, which meets next Tuesday, 6 o'clock in the room next door, and they have final authority. But since they will not be meeting in between this time and that, we are given final authority on certain issues, and this is one of them. And so, staff?
Law Department has no objections.
The police just wanted on record to make sure they will have security and outdoor fencing for the event.
Anyone here for this item?
Motion open the floor.
Motion open the floor by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Could you please make sure you also fill out one of the forms? Is that up, right up here, the forms, or?
Another right there.
Yep, they're up there.
Yep, before you leave. And please state your name and address.
Randy Tremmel, 1100 South Broadway.
Okay. And you've heard the police concerns, security?
Yeah, we'll have security there and the fencing going around again.
Okay.
So,
Police just answered.
And we've done these before.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you care to add?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to close the.
Motion to close the floor by Alder Steuer. Seconded by Alder Vanderleest. That's Alder Vanderleest, you get it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, the floor is now closed. What are your wishes, gentlemen?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alder Stevens.
Second.
Second by Alder Steuer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
Okay.
Item 2, consideration with possible action on a request by V3 LLC at 2056 Main Street to temporarily extend their licensed premises to the parking lot on September 28, 2019 for a grand opening party. We don't have final authority on this one?
No, because of the timing that it will be able to go to council. So we only gave final authority to things where the person would be
It's 2 days
pushed
difference.
back further because of the timing of the meetings. So
Oh, all right, okay. So staff?
a law department has no objections.
Police, again, on the record, want to make sure there will be fencing and security.
Anyone here for this matter?
I do know in their packet it said they were going to do it. I just want to document it that they will provide it.
Well, be nice to have somebody here.
Well, they're not here. Hopefully we can send them a little something they can show up at council. If we go, oh, yep.
Did they wrote that they were going to do it in their packet?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can just get a confirmation from them. I don't think we need to hold this. Right. We can just maybe get a confirmation from them in the meantime between now and council. So,
Could we just believe them?
well,
Could.
the police would like a confirmation,
Okay.
and
I
I'm
would-
fine with that.
I would make a motion for approval on condition that they contact the police department. And
You could
get
reach out
back-
to them and-
Get back to the committee and let us know
Yep, that'd be fine.
before council.
Yeah.
So
So-
that's my motion.
Second.
Motion to approve by Alder Steuer under said conditions, seconded by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Item number 3, consideration with possible action on a request by Old Bavarian LLC at 1583 Main Street to have an extension on the issuance of their reserve Class B liquor license and Class B beer license granted at the May 21st, 2019 council meeting for the 2019-2020 license year. I'm confused. It's been granted?
Yes, so it's been granted but not issued yet.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming because they have not passed approval of the proper authorities, meaning most likely inspections following granting. And then in our ordinances, we require that a licensee be operational within 60 days after a license is granted. Otherwise, they're subject to revocation. And then they have to come back in front of the committee and council to ask for an extension.
Okay.
So that's what they're doing now.
That's where we are now. And staff, any concerns with the extension?
We would just like to hear from the applicant as to what the basis is, and then it's up to the discretion of the committee whether to grant them an extension or not.
Okay. Any other input from?
I'm meeting with the owner of the establishment on Wednesday at 1 to go over what his plans are and even what security and other issues that could potentially arise. So it sounds like they'll be opening rather soon.
I was wondering if this was time sensitive, for them.
That I don't know.
You don't know? Is somebody, no, go ahead.
No.
Somebody.
Anything else? Is there anyone here for this issue? Here we go.
Motion open the floor.
Motion floor. Open the floor by Alder Steuer. Seconded by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, please state your name and address. And make sure you fill out a...
James Fletcher, 1703 South United Street, Appleton, Wisconsin. I represent Bill Brow Brewing Company. I'm with Remax 247. I'm the broker. The reason for the delay, the remodeling got much more extensive than what we thought it was going to be, and it took quite a bit longer to get our plans approved and through the inspection department in order to get our building permits. Right now, the remodeling's on schedule. It'll probably be done within the next 10 days to 2 weeks. We'd already met with the police department when we came in for approval the first time and gave them our plans before we ever made the application to get the license approved. But that would put us right at that 60 days if we don't pick up the license until the end of September. That's our reason coming in asking for the extension.
And your plan hasn't changed at all?
Not at all whatsoever, other than the remodeling got more extensive than we thought once we got into a few of the walls. And stuff we had to do.
Complete in 10 days or something?
We think in 10 days to 2 weeks it should be done. They've been working on, we finally got the permits issued to us about the 3 to 4 weeks ago, where they allowed us to go ahead and do construction and all.
So
So the
60
plumbing's
days
been-
is the pressing matter for you, 60 days?
Yeah.
Yes, we'd like to be able to be open by the 1st of October if
October.
possible. That's our plan.
Okay.
Any questions? Anything else care to add?
No, sir?
No? Thank you.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Floor is now closed. Gentlemen, we approved it once.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Alder Vanderleest, second by Alder Stevens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's extended once it goes through council.
Which is, they know.
Yep. Yep.
And that extension would just be for another, was there a specific date or just extending for another
yeah,
60
there
days?
Well, they're hoping by October 1st.
Okay.
That's more than 10 days.
We could, but we can give them a little extra time.
We can just do it for 60 days.
But for another 60, fine. Sure. Give them another 60.
Just another period of,
Mm-hmm.
that expires. They would come back. Okay. All right, number 4.
Item number 4, consideration with possible action and an application for a Class A beer license and Class A liquor license for Scenes C-Store 3 LLC at 610 East Walnut Street, currently licensed with a Class A beer license as Sings C-Store 1 Inc. Staff?
Yes, so staff's recommendation is to deny this application as it violates Municipal Code Section 33.08 Sub 2. which prohibits issuance of a liquor license to a premise within 300 feet of any school, hospital, or church. The location is within 300 feet of First Church of Christ Scientist, St. Francis Xavier, as well as within 300 feet of the Da Vinci School. The premise is currently licensed as a Class A beer license, and therefore would meet the exemption criteria in the ordinance, so it's grandfathered in. However, the applicant is looking for a different license to include liquor sales, and that would not be grandfathered in. That would require, that restriction would require a 2/3 waiver by council before approval.
Please concur.
Okay. Now, this is for both licenses though, right? So if we were going to accept their,
Correct.
we could
Yes.
amend this
Well,
to just
right, so they're requesting a,
Class A class, beer and
yes,
liquor?
and, right, and it's changing over from Sing C Store 1 to Sing C Store 3, so there's a change of agent in there as well.
Okay. Okay. Is anyone here for this matter?
Motion
Yeah.
open the floor.
Motion open the floor by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Floor is not open. Please make sure you fill out, everyone please fill out the forms and hand to the staff before you leave. And for now, just your name and address, please.
My name is Jagjit Singh, 610 East Walnut Street, Martin Gas Station.
Yep. And I take it you wish to expand from, you want more, you're expanding from your beer license to include
Yeah.
hard liquor?
Yeah.
And is there anything you care to tell us about that? Is this just a financial decision or what?
Just
Something going behind this that?
Oh, just a financially.
Okay. Any questions?
Not at this time.
Yeah, okay, we might have more questions for you later. Is there anything else you care to add right now?
No.
Okay. Okay, anyone else here for this? Please step right up. Someone's gonna be shy?
Yeah, I just got pushed forward. My name is Amy Moore. I live at 1906 Treeland Drive in Green Bay. And at least my husband called me yesterday. He was unable to attend, so he asked that I attend. And apparently my children are a little bit intimidated by the process.
That's okay.
But their division, yeah, exactly, a civics lesson in action. We request that you uphold the restriction as written in ordinance. My children love their school. They love the fact that it gives them access to a different part of the community that we don't typically attend because we do live on the west side. There has been some issues with alcohol and other behavior in the neighborhood. My kids attend running club. The running club route had to be restricted because of inappropriate behavior after school. I don't know anything beyond that. There's others here that could speak more intelligently to it than I can. So I don't want to speculate what that was, but I do know that my children's running route was impacted and they had to remain on school grounds because it was no longer safe for them to be running through the neighborhoods of Green Bay, and that's disappointing. That ordinance is in place to try and protect our children, and I request that you uphold it. And I'll take my form and fill out my name.
Well, just wait, any
Oh,
questions?
sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, gentlemen. Veronica Corpus-Dax, Alder for District 2, and also I'm a parent of a child that attends Leonardo da Vinci School, and I as well support staff's recommendation of denial. You know, you have the school right there, you have church right there, you also have the Micah Center about a block away that is trying to help, you know, people who are trying to rebuild their lives. So I don't think adding to their liquor license and being able to sell hard alcohol is a good idea. Any given point, I've driven around downtown and I've seen people inebriated, close to school, close to churches, and I just don't think that adding to that is going to be beneficial at all. As well as downtown isn't an alcohol desert. You can go to pretty much any establishment, restaurant or bar around downtown and get alcohol. So I support staff recommendation. Thanks.
But are there any other parents
Yeah,
that
right.
speak first?
Yeah.
I mean, usually I go after the parents.
Well, it doesn't matter, we can mix it, we can mix it.
Mix and match.
All right.
Maybe when you speak, it'll get someone.
Okay.
Mo-
Alder Barbador. So I have a couple things. First of all, I do agree with upholding the ordinance as written. I do think that we have this ordinance for some good reasons, and so therefore I would be in favor of not allowing the expansion to the Class A liquor. Are we also voting on the Class B or the Class A beer? I'm kind of not understanding.
Well, you could certainly
how-
weigh in on it, we are voting on that, yes.
I mean,
it's-
they have one already, and that was grandfathered in.
Right, the Class A is grandfathered in, I don't
Okay.
know what
Class A
ramifications.
beer.
Beer.
I don't know what ramifications there would be for not renewing that.
I'm not going
Since
to,
they've been grandfathered
It's not renewal,
in.
it's just, then that would essentially just be a change of agent, because they currently
Change of
have a
agent, okay.
class.
so that's not going to change.
No.
that.
Or it's a change of entity, because the license was held by Sing C Store 1 Inc., and they're changing it to Sing C Store 3 LLC. So it's a change from a corporation to an LLC and a different entity that requires approval. So it would just operate as changing the agent, or the entity, sorry.
I think that we also want to be fair with these decisions, and I know that recently we did approve one of these licenses across the street from Fort Howard School. And I think that there were some good reasons for doing that. I'm wondering if the committee can share those reasons. Why would we in one instance say it's okay to have a Class A license within that area, and in this case we're saying it's not okay?
Well, I was gonna go into that, I'd rather save that for when we discuss it.
Then that's fine. I just want to make sure that comes
Yep, I
out,
was
so
gonna-
it's very transparent to people that
Yep.
we're not, playing favorites, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Alder Johnson is also in the room, anything you care to add to this?
Sure. Well, I think the way that the ordinance is written allows for a 2/3 override of the vote, and I think that, the law was created in a way that's intended to provide an opportunity for those, I guess, to make that request of City Council to override the law as is, and I think that's a good maneuver, and I think it's good that should exist for instances that are an extenuating circumstance, right, where a business owner may be in the right place to request that override. Unless Mr. Singh has some additional information to share beyond what he just testified, I think you have to honor the original intent of the law. There's a reason it exists and the reason it was put in place, and I don't see anything that has changed that's been presented to the committee or to any of us from the time that was originally passed. So given the information that's been presented to us thus far, I would encourage that we not override and approve the application.
Anyone else care to speak on this?
My name is Tammy Van Dyke. I'm the principal at Leonardo da Vinci School, located at 139 South Monroe. We try to be good stewards in our community. We actually, as staff members, do support the Mini Mart by buying soda and snacks there as a place, but we would ask that you uphold the staff recommendation to not allow additional liquor to be sold there. We have had to involve the police department several times because we have people who have consumed so much alcohol that they've passed out behind our school, between the gas station and our school. We had someone last year, 30 minutes before a spring concert, fall off the curb backwards, hit his head on the pavement, and was bleeding, and we had to call an ambulance and the police department again. It just isn't an appropriate environment with the school being so close, so we would hope that you'd hold that.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in, Tammy. So you mentioned that there were a few incidents, and this is, the fact is, you know, these people could have got alcohol anywhere, but, you know, possibly there, you know, that was just beer at that time. How many incidents over time have you experienced or with the police?
That we've had to involve
That you
the
had-
police, probably
right.
5.
Over the year?
Over the time
Over
we've
the
been
time
there.
of the school.
But there are times where our custodian kind of just gently ousts
Right.
someone who's decided that they want to sit down and drink by the tree in front of school and say, you know,
Right.
please move on.
Okay, all right, thanks, that's what I need.
Anything?
I
No?
have a question for
So, certainly.
Karen.
Yep.
I just wanted to clarify something. A parent had come up earlier and said the running club route had to change because of misbehavior.
I have my running club quote.
Okay, and
Oh.
I assume it's not misbehavior by the children.
No.
I would like that clarified.
Oh, okay.
It was not misbehavior by the children.
What? It wasn't the kids? Oh!
Okay, good.
Hi.
Christine Johnson. I am a
Your
parent.
address?
351 Bretco Drive.
Thanks.
I am a teacher at Da Vinci, and I also have a daughter who attends Da Vinci, and I am one of the running club coaches. So we did have several incidences around school and around the area where we did have to relocate. And we have very curious kids who they want to know what's going on. Why are you asking me to do this? And it's really hard for me to be 100% honest with them because a lot of them are not exposed to that kind of behavior. So for them to have to see those kinds of things around our school and in an area where we try to keep them safe as best we can because their parents are entrusting us to do that, we would appreciate if they were not able to get hard alcohol there as well because there's already enough challenges. So that's all.
Question?
Thank you. Good.
Is there anyone else here for this matter? Going once? Going twice? Motion to close the floor by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the floor is now closed. I would like to add, Alder Galvin has contacted me, and he also has been getting contacts from his constituents and others about this, and he also is in favor of denying the application for a hard liquor license. And to address what Alder Dorf brought up, we did okay this for a gas station right across from Fort Howard because the reason we would even consider this is it's a matter of fairness. Most places around gas stations in this city sell alcohol, sell hard alcohol. So it's a matter of a level playing field. But that is not all that there is to it. There is, these are neighborhoods, and if the neighborhoods feel that this isn't a fit, then that is what the purpose of the law is. With the gas station on Fort Howard, no one came up. There was like a few that, well, I shouldn't say no one, there were a few that did, and there were a few that supported it because they thought it would help the business stay afloat. So
Alder.
a lot depends on, yes?
Just trying to get your attention.
Yep, oh, yep.
So House School, there was the gas station, Shell station there,
Yep.
probably.
That was a few years back,
Yeah,
and that one was
and
denied.
that one was
That was
denied.
denied.
Just to remind you.
Yes.
Yep, I was going to
Right.
bring that up as well, and that was for beer. They have no alcohol there whatsoever. So again, every situation is unique, and every situation has to be taken individually, and I think of paramount concern, and the purpose of the ordinance is so that we want to be fair with businesses, but these businesses are in neighborhoods, and it's important that the neighbors are on board, and if they're not, then it's really incumbent upon the business to work with the neighbors to come up to some kind of happy medium or something, or just accept that they're in a location where it's just not going to happen. So I do support, well, before, before we close the floor, I wanted to ask Mr. Singh if he wanted to make any comment compared to everything that had been. Oh, he left? Oh, okay. I was going to give him an opportunity to speak up again, but I guess, all right. So I also am in favor of since they were grandfathered with the beer license, I would entertain letting them maintain that for their business, but not the hard liquor alcohol. And Alder Steuer?
Okay. No, thank you, Chair. Like Alder Scannell said, there are quite a few situations like this in different areas of the city that have come up over time, and they're all uniquely a little bit different. But in this case, I probably got 12 to 14 emails from mostly parents and students, or parents, I should say, of students at Da Vinci against it, and I had no calls or anything in favor of it. So that's part of what we look at. We look at the democratic process of the amount of information that comes toward us, and we try to make well-informed and weighted decisions. So with that being said, I also concur with Alder Scannell on that, and I have no problem right now with the beer license as they have it, you know, for selling beer, but not for hard liquor. So that's where I stand. Oh, my motion would be to deny.
Well, to accept,
approve the Class A beer license.
Yes.
the license
Okay.
to the new
Just Sings C Store 3
Right,
LLC.
okay.
fee.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Thank you for that. Yeah, that would be my,
So it's an amended motion to accept under those conditions. Is there a second? Second by Alder, made by Alder Steuer, seconded by Alder Stevens. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
This will go to council.
Yes.
This will go to council.
and it's still the fact that it could be overturned?
Certainly, yes, it
As you
still,
mentioned.
this goes
As
to
you
council. It would take a 3/4 vote to overturn
Nope,
it.
2/3 of that.
Or 2/3.
Eight out of 12?
2/3 to, so it could be polled, and then there would be, in order to approve the Class A liquor, council would have to vote by 2/3 to waive the restriction, and then vote to approve.
8 out of 12. 8 out of 12.
Yeah.
So I like math.
Sometimes it adds up. Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Shh, we're gonna have a quorum. Ready for 5?
Yes.
Item 5, consideration with possible action on an application for a Class B combination license for Brinker Restaurant Corporation at 2363 West Mason Street with a licensed premises as dining and bar areas, locked storage, currently licensed as ERJ Dining 3 LLC. Staff.
Law department has no objection.
Please concur.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alder Steuer.
Second.
Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
Number 6.
Number 6, consideration with possible action on an appeal by Christy Stasek. I hope I said that correctly. Sorry. Regarding the denial of her operator's license, the Protection Policy Committee has been granted final approval authority on the liquor license related matters until October 1st, 2019. So we're the final authority on this one. And staff?
Staff recommends denial of this appeal on the basis that the applicant is a habitual law offender for offenses that substantially relate to the license activity. I have provided you a copy of the denial memo that lists the offenses.
So we're looking, just three
So
others.
no felonies, just
misdemeanors.
multiple offenses, correct, which
Okay.
under the statutes, a habitual law offender would be precluded from holding the license as well.
Yeah.
Please concur.
I make a motion open the floor.
A motion to open the floor by Alder Steuer, seconded by Alder Stevens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, please step up, state your name and address, and
My name is Christy Sazek. My address is 731 Mather Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin. I ask that you please reconsider. It's been over a year. I have been seeking help for not only AODA counseling, but also counseling for my anxiety and stuff, which has all in the past gotten a little overwhelming. I'm in school, set to graduate in December for event management, and I also just recently got promoted to assistant manager at Copper State Brewing Company, so it's kind of important that I would have this I know it's cliche, but I have changed, and it's, I don't know, I'm able to shed light onto other people about my past and use it to help people rather than continue to hurt myself and other people around me. I just want to continue to be able to grow in my profession and in the event management world.
Has the owners provided you with a letter of support or anything, do you know, or is anybody else here for this?
They didn't tell me I had to bring anybody else or anything.
Well, you don't have to, but
You don't
it
have to.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I
But,
guess,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, any kind of documentation of support or groups that you've been involved with?
I provided them with like statements from my AODA counselor and
Ah.
stuff as well.
Was that in the packet? I didn't think I saw it.
Either.
So then I turned in like, I had that, and then that I complied with like my driver safety plan, and that I have an intox lock in my car as well, and that I've followed through with everything. I'm not sure.
Where did you submit that?
When I, cause this letter was sent that I denied, and I had 30 days to appeal it. When I turned in that, it said that like I had to turn in a personal statement, and then I also provided all that paperwork to the ladies down at the,
Oh, okay, so when you filed your, so that should be in the packet then.
It is in the packet.
It is.
I can't open, my packet wouldn't open.
Just reaffirm of the page it's on. There's like 10 pages here.
Hold on one second. I'm pulling that up.
And civic clerk.
I mean, I see
It wouldn't. It's not.
applications and such, but I don't.
No, it's on page 159.
I was looking at
Our request is 158, and then the supporting documentation is page 159.
What I have is on that item I have 10 pages.
Oh.
You're not in the packet.
I'm not in the pack. Thank you.
Well, come on. Well, I'm gonna take your word.
She has an invoice from the Integrity Interlock company.
Right, but mine won't. I couldn't get mine
I
open.
can't get it open.
A driver safety
Get
plan
yours open?
status
Yeah,
report, and a letter from Foundation saying that she's successfully completed the driver safety plan.
Those are the things that we like to look
I got a
at.
quick question.
Certainly.
I was going to ask you, ma'am, are you currently in a program that you're seeking help? Is it through the Brown County, or is it?
It's I go to foundations. I see like a counselor for AODA stuff as well as a counselor for anxiety.
Okay. So since
I completed the stuff that was required by Brown County. Now I'm just on my own.
Okay. In 2018, you had an OW, and you spent 110 days in jail. Is that correct? At what time of the year was that?
It happened in October, and then I was in jail in around January, house arrest.
Okay. And that's the only offense you've had then since the other ones that are listed here, 2015?
No, my last one was last year.
It's 2018.
2018?
Yeah.
And then there was a couple prior from 15 and 13?
Correct.
Those are the only two then?
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have to know then.
I don't know, just looking at first blush, looking at this, it just seems like that's quite a bit of time in jail, considering that I see other OWIs where people have 10 or 11 of them and they seem to avoid it. So I don't know, I granted everything's a little different, but that just kind of strikes me as unusual. So.
All right.
Any other questions? Anything else you care to add? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion to close.
By Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, I will just throw in that I know the owners of Copper State, and I think if they want to promote her, that says something about her character. and her work ethic. And I'm also impressed that she's finished her required of her, but she's going on her own for further counseling and support, so I think that speaks highly of her. Well, listen for anybody else.
I think support of granting her license. I think she's making an effort as far as turning things around in her life. I think she needs another opportunity to do that.
So the motion would be to approve. I would second that.
Okay, motion by Alder Vanderleest to approve the appeal, and seconded by Alder Steuer. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
yep.
She knows what's council too.
Okay,
Yep,
item
this
number
was
7.
council.
I don't know if she knows that.
Well, she was here when I...
Okay.
This one does, doesn't it?
This one, no, this one you had final.
Oh, you're right, we're on
Right.
6. You're right, we're on 6.
We're good.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you, yep.
All right, item number 7.
7. Consideration with possible action on appeal by Thomas Williams for the denial of his operator's license. Staff.
Staff recommends denial of this appeal on the basis that the applicant is a convicted felon and habitual law offender for offenses that substantially relate to the license activity. Again, the offenses are listed on the denial memo that you've been provided.
I'll take mine is not.
You can use mine.
And
Please concur.
please concur. Anyone here for this item?
Motion open the floor.
Motion to open the floor by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Floor is not open. Please state your name and address.
Thomas Orlando Williams, 1983 Belmont Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yes, I have been in trouble in the past. It was 25 years ago. I was 17. I'm 42. I've worked in the bar establishments, being bar backs, bouncers for the past 4 years. I've had no related alcohol situations at all. I'm a stay-at-home father during the day. My work, I have to do third shift work or nighttime work because I'm a stay-at-home dad with 3 kids. I'm good at it. I'm good at bartending. I'm actually decent at it, and people, I don't know, like me, and I don't know. I'm nervous.
Well, there is the manufacturer delivery of the THC 3 years ago.
No,
I think that's the big kicker.
2012 I got, and I've been off probation for almost 3 years.
Well, this says 2014, but 2012, okay.
Yes, sir. And I got sentenced 3 years probation, 3 years state
Yep.
sentence, and I completed February 14th of 2017.
2006 too.
That's when I got revocated. Yes, sir. No charges. I got revocated for my original charge when I was 17 in 1995. It was on the same
I'm
case.
looking at the 2006.
Yes,
No,
Right.
yeah. It was all that was from when I was 17, sir. Like I said, I'm 42. I'm not the same young. You know, I've got married, been married for almost 8 years. Got 3 kids. My wife's got a good job in the community. She does nails. I don't know. I'm good at what I do, and I just would like to push forward and maybe one day have my own establishment or something.
Where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm currently nowhere because I don't have a license.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe you might have been somewhere else.
Yeah, I was at Rockabilly's as of last month. I've been to Rockabilly's, Party Line, Turn It Up, V3, Hot Box, Ricardo's Community Tavern. I bounced. I mean, like I said, in the past 4 years, 4.5 years, I've been in the community as far as working at bars, bar back, bouncing.
As a bouncer, you need a...
No, sir.
He's applying for a bartending license.
Yes.
He has worked.
But I have worked, yes. I got the temporary, and I worked for them 3 months as a bartender, but...
Is anybody here, ex-bosses,
No.
different people, any letters of recommendation?
No,
anything
sir.
at all?
No. Oh, yes, he got, yes.
I would call him up.
I didn't even know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yep. Please state your name and address.
Joseph Lang, 970 Elmore Street. I was actually here for a different reason.
Oh.
I run live lights and sound at Rockabilly's, where this gentleman has actually bartended for my guests. And I'll be honest, when I can say I've never seen him drink on the job.
I don't drink anyway, sorry.
When I saw him come up here, I figured I had to at least put that in there.
Yeah.
As far as his conduct before and after work, we don't know each other outside of work, but I can vouch for how he is at work.
Thank you, that helps.
Thank you.
So are you, is a job pending?
Yes, actually, maybe D2s, and because I live close to out in Ashwaubenon, I'm by the airport, so I'm 5 minutes away from all Anduzzi's, yeah, all of them, and I've had opportunities, but I've been denied because of not having a license.
How many years have you been a bartender?
About 4. But my dad used to own a bar when I was a kid, so I grew up around the bar business. But I mean, I've been involved in bars probably about 4.5 years. I have an associate's degree in retail sales as business management from University of Kentucky. So I'm good with sales, and I'm a people person. Well, usually, except for committees. But
when did you get that?
2000. What was it? 1999. 1999. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I was also going back for my business management entrepreneurship. But me and my wife was at the time was having our first baby, and she's about to graduate before I was, so I took one for the team. And since then she's graduated, but I'd like to go back eventually. But
any other questions? Any other thing you care to add? By all means, yep.
It's my wife.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Please state your name and address.
Billy Sue Williams, 1983 Belmont Drive, Green Bay. So I'm here to support him. When he got denied, he was like, "That's it, it's done." And I said, "Nope. You know, you really have to stick up for yourself." So I do want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and appeal and speak to you. Ever since I met him, my life has flourished. I've been successful. And I don't get to see him do the same thing. And to some, it might be, oh, just a bartender license. But he stays home with our kids, and that's what works best, is nighttime. And unfortunately, because of his past, he doesn't have a lot of opportunities. But it's been quite some time, and he's not the person he was. And we have 3 kids together, and I would love for him to be as successful as me.
How long
have
have
the
you been together?
opportunity.
How long have you been together?
8 years in October.
Just had our 3rd baby. She just turned 8 months 2 days ago.
But just just looking at what happened in 2014, it looked like you had a bad string of luck there. So can you help explain that, not from your standpoint?
Yeah, we had marijuana plants in our basement. You know, like every bad decision, you don't think. So, and we're still paying for it. Like, we're here, you know, and our kids pay for it. Because we're not as open to as many opportunities as, you know, we would like to be. So our whole family pays for it. And we realize that.
I realized that's 5 years ago, but just wanted to see how you fit in and how that worked out.
She was, yeah, she didn't know, she had no prior.
I'm not
she didn't
saying
know.
that you did, but I'm just saying that the situation is such.
As we get older, we're growing as well. We're not stuck in whatever past. You know, we have 3 children, and I work 6 days a week from 9 to 8. So for him to be able to bartend would be great.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else here to add?
Excuse me?
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Yep.
Just thank you for your time.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else here for this? Okay.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor by Alder Steuer, seconded by Alder Stevens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Floor's closed. What are you thinking, gentlemen?
I think we're on the right track here. So I would make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the appeal by Alder Steuer. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Alder Vanderleest. Any further discussion on it? No? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously, but that will go to council for final approval.
Yes, sir. So when was
Council will be next Tuesday
6
at
o'clock.
6 o'clock in the room right next door.
If it's approved on Tuesday, then I think you can pick up your license on Wednesday.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Okay, number 8.
Number 8, consideration of possible action on appeal by the Lang residents at 970 Elmore Street regarding the reinspection fees. Staff?
I will defer this to inspections. However, I do want to state, just in the interest of efficiency and fairness, we would recommend just setting some time limits for the parties to present their arguments. And those time recommendations would be 10 minutes for the city to present, 10 minutes for the respondent or the appellant to present, and then 5 minutes each. Rebuttal would be a total of 30 minutes, which we feel would be more than sufficient, but just to keep things moving along and to be fair to both parties, that everybody gets the same amount of time to present their arguments. And that's it.
I'll get out my clock.
I'm not sure if you want to hear from inspections first. Or
I would think inspection first, yep.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so Brenda Seidel, I'm a housing and zoning inspector. And I got involved with 970 Elmore Street and the Langs. June 15th, the initial complaint came in. It was basically for the driveway needed work, house needed painting, exterior storage, okay? I went out and I did an initial inspection on June 19th. June 5th, I don't know if I said July, but I meant June. June 19th, I went out and I made the inspection. While on site, owner Jessica came out to meet me. I explained why I was there, introduced myself, and explained what work needed to be done. She seemed upset that I had been there, but I explained to her that I wasn't out there looking for this. This was actually a complaint-driven complaint that had come in. I mailed out orders on June 20th to the property owner and explained everything that Jessica and I had discussed and what work needed to be done on the home. They had until June 24th to clean up the exterior storage, stored vehicles, and make sure that the trailers were in compliance. And I had given them until July 21st to complete the painting and repair the asphalt driveway that's in rough shape. I didn't get back out to the property until August 6th when I did a reinspection, and at that time I issued my first $50 reinspection fee because nothing had been done at that point. The violation still existed. So then on August 7th, I mailed out final orders informing the owners that this was their final notice and that citations may be issued or daily $50 reinspection fees as of that date. And I also sent an email to my supervisor. Alder Scannell was kind of involved in some conversations between the owners and myself. And my supervisor informed me to continue to assess the daily $50 reinspection fees until all the exterior issues were taken care of. So that's the route I took. So from August 12th through current, they've been receiving daily $50 reinspection fees because violations still exist.
What is the amount so far?
I think we're Up in the $600 range, $650 through today.
I think Jamie sent me an updated one, and it is $550 since the making of the
When you get to that
packet.
point, are you,
Um,
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she says it's she said it's $550 unless you guys have.
That was, I think that was through September 3rd.
Okay.
So fees have still been assessing since Friday when I got this together for the packet.
Okay.
So there may be a few additionals.
I was just wondering if this is standard practice, you know, when you get to this certain point.
This is standard practice because there was no communication from the owners.
So if there might have been that, then you could have maybe worked out.
Possibly work something
Some
out,
other-
but it's almost like I was being ignored.
All right. That's all I have.
Any other questions for staff? No, no? Okay.
Okay.
Anything else for staff? You got.
Well, you got 7 minutes.
I don't know if you're interested, but I was out there today and this is what the residence looks like today.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're interested. Thank you.
I got another one in just a second.
So basically, in a nutshell, if you could, the driveway.
The driveway, and there's a fence behind the property, and it's full of exterior storage. And the house, there's still areas on the house that still need to be painted. Still a lot of weeds.
A lot of brush,
Yeah.
weeds, things like that, so.
Corn screens.
So in your estimation, Brenda, do you feel that, you know, a number of these could be handled with just a little bit of elbow grease? Some?
Yes.
Okay.
The financial, I can see the driveway. Paint is cheap. Driveway, I can see that being a large expense, but the other things don't cost a lot to take care of, if anything.
Okay. And have there been some compliance? Anything from when the first inspection?
Yes, the vehicle that was under the tarp is gone. Some painting has been done on the house, but the majority of it is the front side of the house that everybody can see. The sides and the rear isn't complete yet.
Okay.
That's your district.
Yep. Yeah, well, I've been involved a little
Yeah.
bit. I've been trying to.
Is this window broken?
Yes.
Yep.
What's underneath the tarp?
Underneath the tarp is artist trailers. The original pictures you have, I think there was a car
Yep.
under a tarp, but that's since gone.
Gone.
Offhand, you know how, I can ask the residents how long they've been in that house? I suppose I'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
Good.
Anything else,
for me?
gentlemen?
That's it. Not
For Brenda?
Not
Okay,
right
yep.
now.
Yep.
Okay.
Good for now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Anything you care to add? For.
No, at this time.
Okay. Yep. Yep. All right. Well.
Is the person here?
Yep. I believe so. Okay. Please come up, state your name and address, please, for this item. And
Did we open the floor?
yes.
Yes,
so,
we did.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder if we did. I'll make a motion just to make sure.
Yeah. We may not have. We just
I think
did the staff
inspection
first.
just came up.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion open the
Staff.
floor.
Motion on the
Right.
floor by Alder Steuer.
Okay.
Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Opposed? The floor is now open. You're open. You're good to go.
Joseph Lang, 970 Elmore Street. I want to address a couple things that she had stated.
Okay.
Not reaching out, I have here phone calls to her division on August 24th, 23rd, June 25th, and June 19th. Of those, I spoke with somebody on June 19th who claimed to be her supervisor, whose name I don't remember, and then I called again on June 25th. June 19th was the original day that she had stopped by, and I called immediately. When Brenda next stopped on my property, I was the one who had been outside when she arrived. She claimed that her supervisor never advised her that I had called. She also advised that my alderman, Mr. Scannell, had given her the wrong address for the matter, but the matter was in fact spoken with long before the final notice was given. As far as photos, well, first I want to state that I didn't realize that custom car covers were something that were not allowed in the city. because I do see them all over the place. Car's a 1979 Classic. Since posting the video showing, I did post a video, very in-depth, showing what was going on with the property. I also have photos here that do show exactly what's going on. Her stating that I only painted the front. I would like to point out this photo right here that shows that we are in fact painting the entire house, not just what was recommended, which was to scrape and paint the deteriorated areas.
So this is what it is right now?
I do have another group here. They're duplicate groups.
Oh.
So instead of just painting what was stated, the deteriorated areas only, I opted to repaint the entire house.
So this is
that
right now.
That's the property. And I did state when I originally talked to the supervisor that the driveway was not going to be getting done this year. We had just recently lost our furnace. It quit in us in April. That was $4,400 that we had to put down. As far as the storage behind the fence, that is the roofing materials. We had to put the roof on hold because we had to spend the money we were going to pay the roofing labor to now get a refinance, because we had to stop everything we were doing before these fines get to a point where they're, sorry, not fines, they're fees, to where they get to a point where they're essentially feeding us the cost of the driveway. And I have spoken with Randy in detail about this issue, stating what was going on. Our issue this year, besides losing the furnace, we have a newborn in the house. I'm helping my dad go through stage 4. He's got a couple months left. I have my own health issues and, you know, all the other financial issues going on with the house, with doing the roof and everything else. And I mean, I can only do so much. I'm working 6 days a week. I'll get out there and I can paint for a half a day. I gotta watch kids. My wife and I have opposite shifts. So, you know, I was asking, as I proposed in my letter, for pushing all of this back till the end of June, giving us the time to do the driveway. The driveway will get done in spring. We can use our taxes to do it and not go fiscally in debt trying to get it all done this year.
Okay. Yeah, and part of that one communication between, it was a miscommunication between, so that's partly me. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I got, but that was, you know, she was being accurate.
And as far as daily inspections, I only got ever a write-up telling me what was wrong with the property from the first inspection. The second inspection appeared to be a copy and paste, even though when she was on the property there were some things that were already done. Every re-inspection after that doesn't have her name on it. It instead has Marcus's name on it. So, I mean, it's her department, whatever they're still inspecting. But I was under the impression that the case was handed off to somebody else. I just wanted to clarify some things I heard on that. Okay. Relevant or not.
So, but there hasn't really been a sit-down between you and staff to figure out, to go through this point by point and figure out, get a plan in place, right? There's no, with staff, you don't have a point by point plan of, there's this issue, I'll take care of it at this time, and all that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's why I had the proposal. You know, as far as the re-inspection fees, I think a lot of this could have been, time frames could have been put out there long before the August re-inspection started. And then after those re-inspections continued, after, quite frankly, I felt like I was the one getting ignored, then I will admit I did get upset and very angry, because this is my home. And if these re-inspection fees continue, I will be feed out of my house, and it'll be me and 4 other people who will be without a home because of a driveway. The driveway still won't get done this year, and the condition of the driveway will still match the road in front of the house.
Well, you mentioned that you made a number of phone calls to the office and that, and we're hearing, you know, a lot of times what happens, you know, the city will come in, they'll try to contact the citizen, and it goes back and forth, and you would think over that couple of month period that there would have been some time where you could hook up and really sit down and talk about it.
In the initial phone call, I did speak with the supervisor, and he stated that he would get a hold of her and see what kind of time frames we can get. And then I contacted my alderman, who said that he would get a hold of him and explain the situation. And then speaking with her again in person, because I thought it was taken care of when I didn't hear anything back, that our suggestions for putting off the time frame were acceptable. And then when she was back on my property, beginning of August, you know, caught me off guard, especially when she said that she wasn't aware of me ever calling, and she wasn't aware of, she was, you know, given a different address or whatever from Mr. Scannell. So that's kind of when it really all
So you
came
feel
back.
that, you feel if the city would have contacted you, or you would have connected somehow, that we could have avoided some of this?
I feel so,
You
yeah.
feel that way?
I mean, as far as the paint, you know, we've, you know, 2 5-gallon buckets of paint already on the house.
For the house?
About 1.5 as of right now. When we're done, it'll be 2.
Did you paint?
Yes, sir. My wife painted as well. She painted some on the porch. We have to trade off with the infant.
Sure. Well, that's all I have right now.
Any other questions? Yeah. Well, I don't really have questions. So
Should we
we'll
talk
save the
amongst
conversation.
ourselves?
Well, we can.
Close the floor?
Yeah, well, we'll get rebuttals and everything.
Right, but I don't know if we just keep it open?
Yes,
Right
we'll
now?
keep the floor open right
Okay,
now.
all right.
Yep. So when he called and talked to you, there was still, I'm trying to figure out why we didn't get a plan in place. And we just couldn't get connected somehow, or what was from staff's end, what was the issue? What was the?
I took the phone call from him, and we talked about the car and getting the car out of the driveway, but I didn't talk about, I don't recall talking about dates and getting all the other things addressed. And I don't remember if I spoke to Brenda about that, must not have been. Yeah, so I maybe didn't speak to Brenda after that point. So there is some onus on our part as well, but there was quite a bit of time that did go by from June 19th, if that's the date that we said, and I no doubt it is, the date that we talked today.
Well, Paul, isn't there, I mean, when phone calls do come in, are they logged? I mean, there's got to be some.
Yeah, usually. Correct.
So do you have any record of these phone
I
calls?
looked in the file, but I remember talking to him.
Yeah,
Right,
so
I didn't
but-
get to log it.
It's not a question.
Right. Well, let's check.
Yeah.
Alder Scannell?
Yep.
Please ask a question of staff.
Certainly.
When you said that the complaint was received, I assume that was someone called you and complained about the properties?
Not necessarily me to our clerical staff.
Right,
Correct,
yeah. And then it was routed to you. Are you able to share what the complaint was? I mean, was it the driveway specifically, or was it something else? And the reason I'm asking that question is, please do correct me if I'm wrong, but staff procedure at that point is then to inspect the whole property?
Correct.
Regardless of what the call might have been for, right?
The description, house needs painting, driveway needs fixing, grass needs cutting.
Okay.
Those are the three.
Is it standard practice for us to go back daily?
It is. That's the question right now, is how that happens. So what the current protocol is, let's just use simple days, if you will. The complaint comes in, they go out there August 1st, not his, but in general.
Right.
We give them 15 days to get in touch with us and let us know either they start working on the repairs, or they're going to get a contract, or whatever the case might be for the issue at hand. If nothing happens by day, nothing, they don't talk to us, don't call us, no voicemail, no anything, we can start inspecting on day 16. The $50 reinspection fee to get attention. It's basically like there's no contact with the owner and the city.
Just the daily reinspection seems a bit excessive to me. And I understand that it's maybe intended to be used as a tool to initiate contact with the homeowner. I still would be more in favor of trying to find a more, amenable way to sit both parties down to figure out a reasonable timeline.
It goes both ways. We're seeing I don't have the statistics, I will after this summer, but typically in the $250 range, so 5 inspections, people call. And we changed our invoice too, so some people say, well, I thought it was the same $50 bill that you guys were just sending me all the time. but it was actually 5 different bills. So now it's got $50, $100 total, $150, so they see it as they're getting those invoices. We've changed that. And anytime in there, as soon as they call and say, hey, I want to start working on my house, doing whatever, the building inspector, the housing and zoning inspector can work with them to change, stop the re-inspections, because progress, the intent is to get progress, make progress, stop the re-inspections, and let them do the work, and then close out the case.
So do you have the ability, Paul, I mean, rather than sitting in front of this committee, do you have the ability to waive those fees?
I do.
And you opted not to do that?
I was never approached to eliminate these fees before I got here.
Okay, because again, going back to a daily re-inspection, I mean, if the intent is to just sit down with the homeowner, was there any other communication extended to the homeowner to try to, other than the re-inspection notice?
No. I mean, for the number of cases that we had, if we had to call everyone and say, okay, you want to come in now, or do we re-inspect you?
Well, I get that, but that seems faster to me than having to go on site to issue another citation, or not citation, but a fee.
But it's a different person. It'd be, I mean, right now I'm using an intern to go and check the obvious stuff that hasn't been addressed, and that's how we're doing the re-inspection process. It's not housing and zoning, so it would take a housing and zoning inspector, Brenda, to take time out of the day to call all of her cases and say, do you want to meet? Do you want to meet? And there isn't enough time. There isn't enough time.
And I don't mean for this to derail into a philosophical discussion about that, so much as I did want the facts behind it, so about how we got here. Thank you.
Alder Stevens?
So regarding the driveway not being finished, they still will receive that $50 reinspection fee until that driveway is done?
They've made no contact with us as a plan of action or who's doing the work. I mean, if they got bids from contractors and something's signed in place and can find out from a contractor when the work's going to be done, show us that signed contract, maybe a deposit if one was made, we're willing to work with them, but without that, we don't know when it's going to be done.
So the $50 will continue?
I mean, keep in mind too, that's a new tool, that daily $50 reinspection fee. He could have also received 4 $691 citations in lieu of the daily 50s.
Which we haven't been issuing those.
It didn't issue citations, just the daily 50s.
So the daily 50s will continue, because you started them already.
Yes, they can continue. But like Brenda's saying, if they line up a contractor for the driveway and talk with us and say that that's what we're going to do, we're going to do it next year even, we're fine with that. We'll stop. If all that's left is a driveway, we'll stop until, let's say it's going to be done May 1st of next year. We'll stop until May 1 of next year, and then we'll go back out there. As long as there's a commitment, a genuine commitment that the work's going to be done, we work with the complaints.
Well, more for discussion. Yeah. Any other questions for staff or the complainant or the appellant?
Oh, wait till we
No questions or anything. Yep. We'll give you a chance to speak again. Just anything.
I'm good right now.
Okay. Yep. Please.
With regards to getting a contractor.
Yeah. Why don't you come up so the.
All right. With regards to getting a contractor, typically you have to have some type of funds to put down. We know because we tried, and we were actually going to do the driveway ourselves. And as far as I was aware, as a homeowner, we were able to do our own repairs such as that, as long as they were made to code and approved with the permit. So that was our plan. My boss has a cement mixer, so we were going to do the work ourselves. But yeah, we tried to get a contract, somebody to sign an agreement saying that we would pay for it and have it done in the spring, and they wouldn't do it without a deposit. And we don't have the money for that, because with this process starting, we had to take about $500 of our own money to pay for
the appraisal.
Thank you.
Yep.
For the application for refinance, because if we didn't get started on this refinance, we'd be looking at another, $2,000-3,000 in daily inspection fees.
Right.
And the other thing, if we were to have gotten a citation, I think this is where this new tool of the city of doing inspection fees, it's not something that comes with a court date. It's not something that I can that I'm being accused of and can represent myself in a court. So I have to go by other means. So in some cases, I think citations would have been preferable, because the last time that we had an issue with the city about our roof, we went with the citation, talked to, I believe, the DA, and from there, the time frame was approved and everything got done in time.
The citations come to us, or would that go to?
It was probably the city prosecutor.
Okay.
Same function, just different entity.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's, whether you get a citation, you'd be coming here. Whether you got the fees, you'd be coming here.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The citation goes to Rich Mays. The city
it does go to Rich.
the municipal court, correct?
Good. Okay. All right.
Just the reinspection fees come here. I thought you meant come here to the city versus Brown County.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So in my opinion, I see where some of those fees, especially when you get up to a certain amount, kind of circumvents my ability to, defend myself properly, because now I'm getting treated as a criminal without having a citation, so it makes it a little more hoops to jump through.
Well, I wouldn't say you're being treated as a criminal, but it's sort of the same. The purpose is to try and establish communication. Like when we communicated, was there a reason why, when I urged you to reach out to staff and work out plans with staff, was there a reason why you didn't want to do that?
Well, you had originally said that you were going to speak with them.
Yep.
And I was under the impression, because I didn't hear anything back, that the time frames that I was urging for you were okay with them, and that we were just going to be fine working on it throughout the summer, getting the driveway next year. It was to my surprise when she came back on the property to do the August inspection. So that took me by surprise, and I immediately contacted you about it. Because in my opinion, if I speak with her supervisor and she claims that I never did, the point of calling back her supervisor in my mind would just be insanity. So I'd rather contact somebody who was speaking back with me, which would be my alderman, and try to go from there.
Okay. Yeah, it was kind of complicated, because I kept trying to provide information, but also I was trying to make that connection, is what I tried to do. And apparently I didn't work that out very well. Because that's what really is important, is to make the connection. And because even if you're doing it yourself, she could go through every item, and you could say, well, I'm going to be able to do this in a month. I'll be able to do this next week. I'll be able to do this next year. And get the, the important thing is to have a plan. And, we're not trying to make you a criminal. We're not trying to get you out of your house. Matter of fact, we're just trying to, there's a complaint made. We have a job to do. They have to inspect. And then we want to improve, because this is good for you. Improving your household raises its value, raises your, that's good for you. That's good for the neighborhood. It's good for the city. So that's the process we're working on here.
Yeah, and as far as the materials behind the fence, I don't know if I addressed this. They are the roofing materials for the roof that was scheduled to get done this coming weekend, but we postponed that because we used the money for the inspection for the refinance. So that's just going to be delayed by a week or two until we get some more funds for that. But that's what that storage is in the back. I just didn't want the pallet of roofing and all that sitting out, and someone in further complaining about that.
Okay. Well, is there? Can we get the two of you together now? We're all in the same room here. Can we get this worked out if we come to a conclusion here? Because that's the important thing, is that, we are very sympathetic. I'm kind of in the same boat. If someone makes complaints against me, I'm going to be needing time at my establishment. And the city recognizes that and wants to work with people to help them out. And like I said, there's the loan program we've got and everything, so we're trying to do things to set things up to help people. And if you don't want it, that's fine. It's not.
Well, we did look into the loan program, and they wouldn't approve it for a driveway.
They wouldn't?
They wouldn't approve it for a driveway.
What was the reason?
We were told that it wasn't, if we were doing other stuff, they'd be fine. With the driveway, they wouldn't.
That's interesting.
And I think that might have been the amount, because we were looking at close to about $6,000 for the driveway. But we also didn't want to have a second mortgage. Actually, technically be a third, because Neighbor Works would be our.
Oh, what was this? This wasn't through the city's loan, this was through somebody else?
This is through HUD.
HUD, yeah. Well, no, that's through, yeah.
HUD would be federal.
Yeah, that's what we got going here. And then we also have...
So now we're trying to refinance through US Bank, through a private lender who would lend us for the value of the house and allow us to use the money to fix up the house as we see fit, which is going to be, the refinance now going to be paying off the credit for the furnace. Because to get this going, we took credit out to get the furnace.
Yeah, there's always extenuating circumstances sometimes, but we're looking specifically at this issue.
Yeah, and Brenda, did you have something about the...
I was just curious if he said he was denied for the
HUD
program, but I spoke with Kevin King, who handles that,
Yeah.
and hasn't heard from him. So I was just curious who he may have spoke with.
I don't have that information here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes it difficult, because, you know, we're trying to work with you.
I mean, I have no problem. We can email in the refi that we're working on.
Hold on, guys.
Sorry.
Yep.
We can email in the refinance that we have been working on for the past 2 or 3 weeks through US Bank. I mean, our inspection comes on the 16th. We'll have US Bank is sending out one of their home inspectors to go through our house, to look through the house on the 16th. It's not something we've just... When the inspections came back is when we had to drop everything to try to find more money. And that's where we're at, trying to find more money.
Plus, I'm looking at your driveway. It's a pretty long driveway.
It is,
How
and
many feet?
we would actually be shortening the driveway by almost half. We'd be taking out the back half where in the photos I have for you, where the truck is hooked up to the black trailer with the orange top. That area would all be gone. So we'd be shortening the driveway by a considerable amount.
Well, we could discuss.
Anything else you care to add?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay, yep, good, thanks.
I just wanted to mention,
Yep.
he was also, due to all this, being very disrespectful on social media, Green Bay Llama, bashing myself and a few other inspectors on it, which I don't think was really called for. So, a lot of comments.
Yeah, in fact, I think that was part of the confusion, is part of our communications with on Facebook, and I only knew your Facebook handle name, I didn't know your real name, and that made
I
things
did
more
include
confusing.
the resident deed name, which would be my wife's maiden name, Berfiend, in a couple of our correspondence, along with the name, address, or the address of the house. And that would be correspondence between you and I.
I think that's why there was probably a lot of confusion too, because the name is in Jessica's maiden name. I had no idea their last name was the Langs, because it's still in her maiden name. Emails from Mr. Lang are coming through as Zoltan Wallace.
Right.
So many different names that aren't even, that I don't even see on my end.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Yeah.
I did reference the address in the email and my wife's name. I use a handle or a pen name online because I have had issues with identity theft in the past. So I've opted to go with our family name.
Right, that's your prerogative, and we're not criticizing, it's just, it did add to the confusion. There was a motion to hold this.
So the staff can
talk, and then come up with a plan, and then how that proceeds, and then we can reassess the fees and decide what's appropriate. If it's, we can hear back from staff if they still feel the fees are necessary, and perhaps even more. if we can't get things worked out, please talk to staff and work out a plan. Doesn't matter. That's what's got to happen. Otherwise, there's really nothing left for us to do but to issue fees and citations.
I would appeal for civility too, because, you know, I don't feel the city is vindictive on any of this. They're just doing their job, and we're trying to work with you as well to try to do the right thing. So we want people to come together and work together, and it just seems like there's been a number of communication faux pas here. I don't know, and it's confusing. It really is. It's hard for us to determine things That's why I think Alder Scannell is really reaching out to you to really sit down civilly with inspection and try to work out a plan. So that's where I'm at.
My comment is that I'd hate to see this couple lose their home. I think if that we could have in other words, a reprieve on the fees until we get a plan in place. I think if we stop the fees at this point until we got a plan in place, and it sounds like they're trying to get financing, so they'll have more money, and they've had a few things happen as far as furnace replacement, and there's illness in the family. It sounds like they could need a little bit of a break at this time if they could stop the fees until we get a plan in place and move forward at that point as far as, you know.
So just stop the fees now? Would you consider?
If we can,
if staff would be okay with it as far as if they set up a time?
I'm fine with holding the fees right now and wait till they get their September 16th home inspection. I don't know how long it'll take for you to find out what you'd be allowed.
I think, well, we can get our inspection back within 3 to 5 days. I don't know if US Bank's going to tell us maybe for a week or two after that.
So by the end of the month, that he figures out what they get for a home refi and comes up with the house will be painted by this, you know,
yeah, but
yard by this,
right, there's
driveway's going to be done by
number of items, point by point. Sit down with staff here and point by point.
Make sure you got it.
There are a couple of items. The trailer's being empty. I mean, they are. I mean, I changed the tarp out on the one just because the old one was ripped. But it's a 50-year-old trailer, so it has to have some type of canvas top on it. There's never been snow or water inside. So I mean that's.
We can go through all those details when we meet at the end of the month and lay out a plan. And I would be amenable to that.
Okay. Sound good? All right.
But I want the onus, excuse me, the onus is on you to give me a call, and then I'll set up a meeting time with you, myself, and Brenda to have that discussion.
Yep. Right. Paul Van Castle. He's the. Do you have a card?
Give him his.
Yep. Go ahead.
Just a question, Paul, because it seemed like the biggest expense here is probably the driveway.
Yeah.
And I know that you indicated that if he had a contract, that's something that could, you know, based on the email that he shared here, you'd like to do it by next year. You said with a contract, it's something that you could stop inspection fees. Is there a plan that you could agree to that would still allow him to do the work that would give him until next year to do it?
All we need is a plan.
Okay.
So whether it's the contractor or a commitment by, preferably the contractor route, because a lot of people say I'm going to do it and they never do it. So we're a lot further along with this one. So if the plan is at the end of this month, I'll pave my own driveway by May 1st or end of May next year, I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? As long as everything lined up.
Pending flooding again.
Oh yeah, pending weather, absolutely.
Okay, and then Alder Vanderleest just brought up the other point that I was going to request, that it be part of the motion that we hold inspection fees until we can, if you're holding it till next month, you come back, present the plan, and it would still give them the ability to appeal the other 400 that's out here, and for you to be able to hear that request at that time, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
So I have it to suspend additional re-inspection fees until September 30th, until the end of the month. Is that not correct?
Correct.
End of the
Yep.
month? Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the motion.
That and to hold the appeal for staff and appellate to meet and work out a plan to adjust the work issues and to report back to the committee.
Motion by Alder Stevens. So moved by Alder Stevens.
To refer back to us for their October meeting.
Well, we meet September 30th, right?
We meet the 20.
Well, I was thinking 30 days.
Oh.
We meet again on the 23rd, so it would be prior to like the expiration of their timeline. And then we meet,
every 2 weeks.
October 7th.
October 7th?
That's what I would say.
So report back to the committee
October 7th.
for the October 7th meeting.
So for the October 7th meeting.
Okay.
All right.
That's a motion by Alder Stevens, second.
By Alder Stoyer.
Second.
Okay. Anything else, gentlemen? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, no. And I know I'm out of order, but Brenda, when I got you here, I've been meaning to email you. Thank you very much. On Ashland, Whitey Kuska, he's very happy with the alley. You did a great job. Thank you. So now I'm back in order.
Yeah. You're never out of order.
Yes.
Motion to close the floor.
Didn't we already do that? Well, we should have done that before we voted. Motion to close the floor by Alder Vanderleest. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, now motion to, the motion by Stevens, seconded by Stoyer. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now we close the floor.
You mean well.
Should have pinched me.
I'm giving you a little break here tonight. Working hard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who did the?
It was Stevens did the motion.
We closed the floor though.
Yep.
And then we voted again.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So it's the same, it was the same.
And yeah.
Right, okay, to go back. I thought we had, oh no, we didn't do that. Okay, so.
Yeah, I thought we had two.
We closed the floor first.
So the motion to close the floor was?
Same two. Stevens, Stoyer.
Stevens, Stoyer.
And then the motion for
Okay, and the motion, oh that, and then.
to hold and everything else, Stevens, Stoyer.
Okay. Right, and now are we on, we're on the liquor violation report?
We are on the liquor violation report.
Okay.
Staff.
We had one violation during this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
One violation?
Yep.
Motion to place on file.
Oh, I want to hear all about this violation. Come on, we never have any violations. We got one now.
You was allowing an underage person to enter a licensed premise.
You want to name the bar or not?
Yeah, it's in the report.
It was at Kintner's Bar. We met with the owners and the bouncers no longer employed there.
Huh?
Okay.
There we go.
So
the bouncer got bounced.
cost no effect.
That's kind of bouncy.
All right. Receive.
Motion to place a file by Stevens, second by Stoyer. All in favor? Aye. Good job. Thank you. I think we just might be motion to adjourn
Yep.
by Alder Vanderleest.
Yes.
Second.
Second by Alder Stoyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are out of here.
Thanks. Have final authority on the marathon one?
I think we. No, that's coming to staff. That's coming to council.
Because it could be a
That's coming to council.
two-thirds. It can be a two-thirds override of votes. So it's going to council.
Okay. I just want to respond to a few people what the status is.
Yep, it's going.